Okay, so moving on to the next one. The resources you need to recruit. What has taken a really long time to gather all this stuff? Well, so the first thing you need are instruments. Right, I think if I look around in my apartment, there's about uh, $10,000, $12,000 worth of musical instruments. And if I really had my way, I would have like five or six times that at least. Um, so that's not really easy to come by. I should like worship the ground my parents walk on for like a $10,000 violin. So that wasn't easy to come by. Sound equipment. So none of this stuff will mean anything to you, and it doesn't really mean anything to me yet because I'm still learning about it. But I need like an audio interface, so like a mixing board, and um, I need studio monitors, which are like super high quality speakers. Reference monitors. Is that what they're called? I know they don't use the word monitor in Australia. It's like something else. I totally forget what it is. Um, yeah, you just need all this equipment that I don't even know about yet. So you need studio space. I know someone who's actually offered me free studio space for like no reason other than we're friends. That stuff costs thousands of dollars. Sound equipment, I didn't talk about the prices. Obviously, like crazy pricey, especially if you want the good stuff. Audio samples, those are insanely expensive if you want like if you want to be able to like make a bunch of orchestra sounds out of your computer and have it sound decent, that's like $5,000. Um, and that's decent. Um, Website. So I work at a video game studio and I've had someone offer to do my website for me for free, which is awesome because I want it to be a good website. I really hate like crappy websites or even okay websites. I want it to be classy and well done and simple, but yeah, anyways, I'll just stop talking about that one. It's not super important, I guess. And you need a lot of time. I finally come across a point in my life where, wait, no, that's not true. I don't have a lot of time. But we have to make time for what's important, and I guess at the very least, I'm comfortable with my job. It's an 8 hour day, like, well, not 9 to 5. It's kind of not always 9 to 5, but let's just say it's 9 to 5. And it's Monday to Friday, so that leaves me really another 8 hours every day plus the weekend if I'm willing to work 16-hour days, which is what this dream is going to take, no less. If I actually want to do this seriously, I'm going to have to work 16-hour days for like probably years. And yeah, that's getting depressing. Let's not talk about that. So, what else do I need? In terms of people, I need musicians. So my coworker actually, and his girlfriend, whom I'm really good friends with. No, no, that's totally a lie. I'm just friends with. I wouldn't say really good friends. They um they actually run a music venue called what's it called? It's called the Railway. And, tons of like professional but small time musicians come in and like play their stuff. And actually, my dream is to write for really good musicians, like specifically, not just write music and see whoever I can get to play it. If I hear like some awesome musician and say like I really want to write a song that really suits their sound and their voice. Um, Anyways, and of course you need real musicians if you want to record your stuff. As much as, I mean, let's talk about this for a minute. I took music lessons and I competed in music competitions and did all these music camps and blah blah blah. And the whole point of all this training was that, there's music written on the page, but it's how you play it that's important. And you can't tell that to a computer. So no matter how expensive of music samples I buy, it still sounds like a robot's playing them, and that sucks. So getting real musicians to play your stuff is really important, but that costs like tens of thousands of dollars at least most of the time. Um, Anyways, I guess there's a web developer. I talked about the whole making a website. I don't know why I keep harping on that. Let's just skip that one for now. Audio producer. So I have access to, a really big audio producer in Vancouver, and that's the audio producer for where I work. and she has like 50 game credits to her name. She could tell me if my stuff is worth listening to, um, and kind of point me in the right direction if I'm becoming legitimate or not. Audio mixer. I spent a lot of time with the audio people where I work in games, and a lot of them have actually offered to mix my stuff. Mixing is like, for those of you who don't know, like it's kind of like conducting an orchestra. You kind of like this part needs to stick out here, and this section or this instrument needs to sound louder here, or this is sticking out too much. You need to tone it down. It's super important. I've really only learned about this over the last couple of years, but it's a very difficult skill to do well, and I have a lot of people who've a lot of training at it offer to do it for me for free. Um, and also, I obviously have access to a lot of professional opinions. If I want to write music for games, I make video games. I can just ask people who are making the decisions over what music goes in our game, what they think of my music. And lastly, you need people who believe in you, and I actually, strangely enough, have a decent number of those people. Um, for those of you who don't know, I've written very little music in my time, which is kind of counterintuitive to doing all of this. But of the little bits I have written and let people hear, uh, I honestly believe that they're not lying to me when they tell me that they think it's pretty good. I know when it's bad, and I know the whole like mum reaction you get when it's not very good, but I mean, these are people who are really busy and they're like in their 30s and they've got better things to do with their time. And I know at least for some of them, they wouldn't bother saying my stuff was any good if they didn't mean it. So it's nice to get that kind of reinforcement. Uh, right. So on to the next one.